Hello. Um, One of the videos I was making earlier got kind of cut off, and I just wanted to make this little short video to talk about witches in the Bible. That might seem like a very odd topic to some people, but I was raised Catholic, and I went through Catholic school and all of that. I did the classes for getting my confirmation and all of that. And I do have a significant knowledge of the Bible and involvement with Christianity. I also have a very long standing interest, and I've read very, very, very many books on so many subjects to do with paganism and Buddhism and many different beliefs. I'm just like kind of a knowledge whore. I love learning about anything and everything. I love reading. I've spent days just reading with little sleep and little food and just devouring books. So that being said, I wanted to say that there's lots of characters in the Bible who practice what could be considered witchcraft, although it may not be termed witchcraft. Even so far back as Moses, I know that he had a staff that he used, and he was able to throw it down, turn it into a snake, and turn it back into a staff again. I know that he used it to direct power. He tapped on a rock or a stone and caused water to pour forth from it. He spoke directly to God, and to the point where at one time when he spoke to God, his face took on a glow from being in the presence of God. Also, famous character in the Bible, Joseph. Joseph and the Coat of Many Colors. The Coat of Many Colors, I think, is a very cool thing, too. To me, it sounds like a witch's cape. I think of it in that way. But Joseph was an interpreter of dreams. His brothers threw him in a pit because they were jealous of him being his father's favorite. And they sold him into slavery. And while he was imprisoned, he became quite well known for interpreting dreams. This, to me, it's another spiritual gift. As witches, we often get inspiration or direct contact with divinity, whether it be God, angels, saints, gods, goddesses, all different types of spirits speak to us through dreams. And Joseph did this, and he became quite powerful. He did do it in the name of God, which I think was important for who he was, although he was not Jewish anymore, because he wasn't raised in the faith of his fathers. But there's a lot of magic to be found in the Bible. Abraham and Sarah, they had a baby when they were well into their 80s, because God told them that they would and that they could. I know Glammy Witch did some reading from the book The Red Tent, and that's an excellent, excellent book to read for us witches. The 4 wives, Jacob's wives in the book, are all had all been raised in pagan type of culture where they were separated during menstruation. That's why the book is called The Red Tent. During menstruation, in their culture, they couldn't do any type of work during their time of the month. Also, it's said that they would pour the menstrual blood back into Mother Earth And they had some very interesting rituals that are described in the book to celebrate a woman's coming into menstruation time. When a girl gets her first period, it's something that they celebrate. And women were there for each other. They celebrated their womanhood. They celebrated coming to the time of being fertile and all of that. Many of the kings in the Bible also used forms of witchcraft. They consulted oracles, seers, dream interpreters. I have a book. I have gone through it a little bit, but I haven't read it from cover to cover yet. The Key of Solomon, which is basically it's a book given to King Solomon on how to summon certain spirits, demons, deities, and it was given to him from God, and it has the specific words to use to force them to obey. This stuff in, the olden days, I'll call it, this stuff was kept under lock and key. But now we're living in a time where all kinds of information is just everywhere. If you want to find out something, you can find it out on the internet. And if it's something that is more difficult to get, you might have to search a little harder, but I'm pretty sure you can find just about anything, especially these sacred texts that were once kept to only people who had been initiated into certain practices. But now they're available to the general public, which in a way is kind of scary, because somebody who's just young, naive, and doesn't realize what they're doing could really cause some serious harm to themselves or their families if they played around with this type of stuff, because it's no joke. Some of it is some pretty serious stuff that I wouldn't do. I definitely wouldn't do, and I don't know. I just don't think it's that smart that stuff is out there for just anybody to get. But I've heard people say that they think Jesus is a witch because he did things like healing people and turning water to wine. But there's a lot of references in the Bible to witches and witchcraft, and not all of it is negative, not all of it is bad. And sometimes if you just look, you can find lots of witchcraft that just simply is called by a different name. Many religions use things like that. Charms, prayers, chants, and so forth. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I think it's interesting, and it's kind of cool to me to realize that religions do overlap. A lot of things that people believe, if you really take time to digest what they're teaching and what their texts say, you can find some similarities, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, have a wonderful weekend, guys. Love and blessings.